Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be talking about Absolute Superman issue 21, written by Jason Aaron, with art by Rafa Sandoval, colors by Ulysses Areola, and letters by Becca Carey. Superman's fight with King Shazam comes to an explosive end this issue, as before speeding up to the moon to deal with Adam, Superman contacts Lois and Jimmy, telling them of his mission to take down Adam on the moon. Clark tells them that if he doesn't make it back, he wants them to look out for a few people, giving them a big list of names to act as his final wishes should he die. In the present, the armored Superman overpowers King Shazam with the mace from Hawkman and the hammer from Steel, beating him into the moon's rocky surface. Clark tries to tell Adam that he won't kill him and he doesn't have to hurt him. In fact, they could work together if only Adam would just stop for a moment. Superman keeps on hitting Adam over and over, trying to bring him to his senses, since back when he made the wish with the wizards, millions of people were suffering, but now billions are, and they need his help. I love Superman going on full battle mode with his armor again in this fight. It's kind of become his thing. It's like his last ditch power in the third act of the story thing, and it works so well. Also, giving him two giant weapons is such a cool look. It adds something very visual to Superman, and he's not just, punching or kicking or firing heat vision off at a villain now. There's an actual weapon with some weight behind it, which I really like. And then it's also rather fitting for the Absolute Universe, being that, Batman and Wonder Woman in the Absolute Universe both have giant weapons as well. On top of the action and spectacle, I do like Clark trying to still get through to Adam and show him some perspective of what the world is like now 3,000 years later, and how it's just gotten worse and worse, and Adam destroying everything doesn't make it any better. And in fact, if he just slowed down and talked, maybe they could solve the problem. Clark tells Adam that he can't save the people alone, pleading with Adam to stay down. Adam takes advantage of Superman lowering his guard, lunging at him, managing to take the mace from Clark's hands. While Superman is beaten into the lunar rock with the mace, we actually learn what the list Superman gave Lois and Jimmy was, with it being a list of people and places from all around the world that he goes to and helps, like an old man in Botswana he delivers medicine to, or the pack of stray dogs he feeds, or the location in the ocean where he picks up trash. Lois knows that this is a very long list, wondering how Clark did all of this since it seemed impossible, but all Clark wanted to know is if they ended up getting the list before he left for the moon, since it's very important to him. This is really Clark revealing the true extent of his powers to Lois. Like, she understood he was pretty powerful, but I like that her just seeing this list and just this unending list of things that he was doing probably on a daily basis has kind of like shifted her perspective on all of this. Like, oh, this guy actually does care, and he was helping everyone he could. He was using his powers to their full extent. And I like that that's kind of changed her worldview a little bit here and kind of made her less of a cynic. She now believes in Superman. She's inspired by Superman. Again, it's Jason Aaron taking these core concepts of the character of Superman and deploying them in such a way where it feels new and refreshing. It's stuff we've seen countless times before, but it's the way he's delivering it in this new and fantastic way that I just love. Back on the moon, Adam uses the mace against Superman, smashing him so hard into the moon it causes a massive tornado to form around them. Lois meanwhile butts heads, literally, with Talia al Ghul, who comes back for another attack on the woman. Hawkman shows up to the fight and Talia thinks he's there to help finish off Lois. However, he ignores the women and heads for the father box, grabbing the item and leaving. John Henry meanwhile weakly tells Superman not to die, since someone's got to feed his creepy dog, as Psy actually didn't die from being killed by Black Adam. He actually just got blown into smaller chunks. The way the page is laid out here with Psy with John Henry, it makes me think that he's gonna latch on to John Henry, and there could be some really cool thing you do here where he becomes kind of like a symbiote for John, because John is he is fucked because he's just a guy and he just went toe to toe with two godlike beings and he somehow survived. I imagine he's got quite a number of broken bones and damages to his body, so it'd be cool if Psy becomes part of his body, symbiotically just to help him heal a little bit. And maybe that could be like some cool new way he gets an armor, like it becomes sort of like the Guyver or something, where it's inside of him and it forms around him when he's in danger or something, pretty much like the Venom symbiote does. It'd be an interesting new way to take John Henry, and he could like upgrade it with his technology or something. It'd be something really interesting. I don't think that's where it's going to go. I think Psy's going to help him, but I don't think he's going to become like some sort of symbiote for John Henry. Adam meanwhile uses the Nth Metal Mace to grow his own battle armor, deciding to show Superman his own strength. He brings the mace down on the Man of Steel, and the hit is enough to crack the moon right down the middle. The two battle each other with their weapons, destroying the moon in the process, which is a big damn problem for the world now, though I wouldn't be surprised if Superman ends up fixing it in the end. Superman tells Adam that he does not need a prophecy to tell him who he is, wanting to know who Adam thinks he is. As Superman blasts him down into what's left of the moon, Adam tells him that he is the being with the eyes of fire and the strength beyond imagination. Adam blasts Superman with his lightning, stripping away his armor as he pushes the hero deep into the rock, telling him that he is going to bring about a brave new world, one that will become an age of justice. Adam can hear Lois and many of the other people on Earth calling for Superman, wanting to show her and the others who the one true Superman really is, and it's him. This new Adam design here with the armor and like the mask so he can breathe on the moon is so sick. It's the right level of over the top for Black Adam, who, yeah, he thinks himself as some sort of high god king of the world, so of course his armor would look very regal and slightly over the top with big shoulder pads and like the snake on the forehead, like he's some sort of like pharaoh. It's a fantastic look for him, and it's something I didn't expect to see. Before Adam can finish his big villain speech, Superman smashes him in the face with the hammer, demanding to know what happened to the slave boy who just wanted his freedom, since it seems he's been lost in the madness in the last 3,000 years. King Shazam tells Superman that Teth Adam is dead, and thanks to the powers, he has become retribution made flesh, the wrathful god the world deserves. He utters his magic word, which ends up transforming him back into Teth Adam, who cannot breathe on the moon. So I guess the magic word really does actually work. I figured this being all done by the Brainiacs and the Father Box, it wouldn't be a traditionally magical Black Adam. It'd be something more tech related, something, you know, some alien technology that the Brainiacs imbued him with. But I like that makes what the Brainiacs did even more mysterious, since I guess there maybe was some magic behind this, and maybe the Father Boxes are imbued by magic. Superman races to help Adam, but before he reaches the boy, Hawkman swoops in with the Father Box and blasts Teth Adam with it, causing the Father Box to trap Adam and teleport him away to some unknown location. Back on Earth, Lois and Talia continue their violent tussle until Jimmy Olsen arrives, who shoots Talia in the leg after telling her that the Omega Men send their regards. I'm liking this is cementing Jimmy as more than just the camera guy. He looks like he's going off to help lead the Omega Men or try and reform them in some way. But I also do like the little bit here where he confronted Talia with the gun and shot at her, with Lois giving sort of a play-by-play how it hit her in the leg, and how they all thought that maybe he was aiming for that, when it's very clearly like he's just got lucky. Like he's trying to act all like tough and everything, but it's still very much Jimmy Olsen there under everything, and he's still very much awkward and just kind of falling into luck a little bit, which I really like, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes about using that luck to make the Omega Men a thing again. In the aftermath of her fight with Talia, Lois ends up returning to Smallville, finding a job at the Smallville Gazette, thinking that it will be more exciting than the Daily Planet, with their first story being about the unsafe working conditions in the Midwestern meatpacking plants, with John Henry Irons, who was actually saved by Parasite, who took him to the fortress, being her inside source. John also getting to stick around in a big way and, you know, be around in Smallville is fantastic too. I'm really looking forward to a focused issue on him. We got a little bit 2 issues ago where he was working in the meat processing plant, and we learned that he created the Peacemaker armors, but there's still so much more to tell there with him, and I'm intrigued to see like what his Mark II armor is going to be, or like what his role will exactly be within the growing number of people who are around Superman now. Talia meanwhile is locked up in prison for the crimes of the Lazarus Corps and for murdering her father, and Lois ends up visiting her, reading her the same books and poems that Superman read to Ra's, Ra's, looking to rehabilitate the villain. Lois doing exactly what Superman did to Ra's is proof his way of doing things is starting to work. His ideals and plans and attitudes are starting to rub off on even the most cynical of people like Lois, meaning that it's all working as intended, and Superman doing the way he is doing things is working. Hawkman meanwhile isn't taking any of what happened very well, going on a drunken bender through the solar system, with Lois knowing the last time anyone heard from him he was going out past Venus. In the near past, Superman demands to know what Hawkman did to Adam with the father box, but all the winged man will say is that he did what Superman didn't have the balls to do. Hawkman leaves Superman alone on the moon, which he ends up fixing by welding all of it back together with his heat vision. Something I wish we did actually get to see on the page, like this giant feat of heroism. He saves the world from, the oceans going crazy because of the tides and various other things that the moon helps regulate. Lois knows that she hasn't seen or heard from him since the fight, finding that he's thrown himself into his work more than ever before. Thousands of light years away, Adam is dropped on an alien planet with the father box, demanding to know where it has taken him. He hears something roar in the distance and figures this is some type of damnation for him, but he tells the box and whomever might be listening that no matter how far they've taken him, it won't be far enough and he will find his way back to Earth and become Superman's doom. He says his magic word, turning back into King Shazam, as it's revealed that he's been dropped on a planet full of DOOMSDAYS, whom King Shazam intends on fighting head on and probably becoming the leader of. So a whole planet of DOOMSDAYS was something that was definitely not in my bingo card. DOOMSDAYS who all look like they have some type of culture too. They've got buildings and some type of city in the background there, which is very interesting. It's very scary to think about too, like multiple DOOMSDAYS. I was wondering if we were going to get a hint at a Doomsday or something, being that we're doing kind of Reign of the Superman in this series, and I figured that we'd get some sort of hint maybe at a Doomsday or something, but this is much more than what I thought. This is something that's quite big. This is big in scale, and this could quite possibly be the beginning of the absolute crossover event we have coming up very soon, since it does make a lot of sense. King Shazam ends up beating all of these Doomsdays, becoming their leader after gaining their respect, and he leads them back to Earth, and they kind of try and overrun Earth or something. It's definitely something that would be an all hands on deck situation, and yeah, I could definitely see something like that maybe happening. It'd be interesting to see what Jason Aaron has in store for us with these Doomsdays and that big event, which I believe he is headline. So very much looking forward to that, and I just cannot wait for what he has in store for us. Absolute Superman issue 21 was a fast-paced, action-packed conclusion to the King Shazam storyline for now. I loved how much Superman focused on trying to get through to Adam during their fight, trying to figure out where his anger was coming from. On top of that, Lois's little arc across the issue of finally seeing the scale of Superman's actions and just how much he does for the world and for them, and how it changed her was so good. I loved that it changed her from being a complete cynic into someone who actually starts believing. And that's the real power of Superman, that inspiration he gives to others. We're starting to see that seep through into the culture of the absolute Earth, that Superman is now affecting them and making them think that there is hope out there, and I cannot wait to see the continuation of that storyline in the coming issues. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10.